Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
So, over the last couple of weeks, Mr. Magazine has made a startling turnaround where he actually, well, his head disappears
nice.
too. He actually has been talking about Whatnot and being on there. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that, Mr. Magazine.
Okay.
What percentage of buyers would you say across other venues, because you haven't sold on Whatnot,
Yeah.
in general, are repeat buyers? And how much of your sales do repeat buyers count for?
At the most, I'm saying 5%. Does that sound right? I mean, I would say more than 2, but probably 5%. And now for eBay, it's definitely a lot less than it used to be. I would say it would be closer to like 7-8%. With the website and DVD stuff, the adult stuff, I'm guessing it's higher percentage, maybe 15%, because we get a lot of multis every day with that stuff. But overall, I would say 5% solid.
And how much of your sales does the regulars, and by regulars I don't mean somebody who buys one item and then buys an item 3 weeks later and buys an item 6 months later. I'm talking about people who steadily buy from you.
So we get a lot of that on Amazon and the adult sites. Not so much on eBay anymore. 10% maybe. I'm just guessing there, but yeah, I would say that sounds fair.
So and I want you to listen to what I'm saying, and we're going to talk a little bit about what this means for you and what this means in general.
Okay.
There is a feature over on Whatnot where you can analyze various reports that they have over there. And it shows up on there. It'll show you who your top 10 buyers are and how much money they've spent with you.
Okay.
So I went and I checked my lifetime sales number over on Whatnot. Then I added up my lifetime top 10 buyers.
Okay.
My top 10 buyers are 33% dollar-wise of my sales.
Wow.
What does that information mean to you as far as what you need to do? And by you, I'm talking your employees. I'm talking Mr. Magazine, this gigantic entity. What does that mean that you guys need to do differently? And I'm not saying that's not a good or a bad word, differently, because again, no other site that I'm aware of are you so dependent on your regulars. Because if my top 10 are 1/3,
right.
and I didn't go down, but I would bet if I went down to my top 25, my top 25 are probably 50-60% of my sales.
Right. And I'm guessing how long it's been on, a couple of years at least. I'm guessing if you go back a year and a half, those numbers would be a lot smaller. But you built that relationship with those buyers. And I've seen at least 2 that you've done, or 3, the one I was involved in. And I would say you cater to them in the sense that you know what they want, you know what they like, and you're going to bring more of that to the table because it's almost a guaranteed sale. So if you got 3, 4, 5 guys that are repeat and they're coming to watch you and they buy every time, you basically going to have some guaranteed sales if you know you're bringing stuff that they want.
Right.
And, so.
And the advantage of that as well is, let's say that I know you like Zippy the Pinhead, who I happen to be looking at right now. If I bring Zippy the Pinhead there, you're probably going to want it.
Right.
But because you're also at the auction, you may see 2 or 3 other things that you didn't know that you needed. You'd be like, oh, that's really a neat looking cover. It isn't really, or
a good deal. Like, wow, why does no one want that? I'll take it for $5.
Or something that you collect that I don't know you collect.
Yeah.
I don't know this, but all of a sudden it turns out that you collect covers with chimneys on it.
Scotty dogs,
whatever it is. Yeah. You collect Scotty dogs. Well, I've got a magazine there with a Scotty dog cover, and I didn't know that's what you collected. Well, now, next time you come there, not only did I pick up a Zippy for you, I also picked up 2 Scotty dog things for you.
Yeah.
So, no, you're absolutely right about that. So I guess what will Mr. Magazine, the entity, put into place, or how will you handle that?
Well, I'm going to focus on 45 RPM records because that's what we have the most of. We may mix it up and do comics. I find, like you come across them like, oh, this is good for Whatnot. So if I'm going through, I do a lot of sorting comics, and I know this is good for eBay, this is good for Amazon. Oh, this is good for Whatnot. So at some point we'll have some comics, and my Whatnot employee that we just hired knows comics, so that'll be perfect for him. We might do toys, we might do Hot Wheels, something, down there. But for the most part, once or twice a week we're going to be doing 45. So, and I'll be doing the sorting because obviously I want to know if there's a $50 or $100 record in there, so then we could highlight it or something, or separate $5 auctions or $1 auctions. So, and as I'm going through there, and he's doing these auctions, and we get some repeat customers, and we know what they like. Now I'll be setting, oh, this is funk. They like funk, or they like Elvis, or they like Beatles. So like, I'll be giving them what they want once I know what they want. You know, and I think that's how I would play it. Unless you think there's a different way.
No. I just.
Yep. I don't want to just keep winging it again. Like, I want to make the sales. I have, like I said, at least I'm guessing minimum 50,000 records to do. So, you know, we're going to pound them out hopefully and grow that base.
Well, I'm going to give you a suggestion, and you may or may not take it.
Okay.
My suggestion would be, if possible, assuming that people don't want something so obscure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously they want 1962 ska rock, but only Jamaican. I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
You know, if you do find one, you found one.
Right.
That's it. But say this person likes Frankie Avalon, and this person likes doo-wop music, and this person likes, you know, you've got 5 or 6.
I'm thinking more like Sun labels or white label promos. We can do a whole white label promo one. I have hundreds of Italian ones, and they may not be popular, but they're obscure and they're going to be cheap. You know,
right.
So you know we can do genres galore. You know,
my suggestion to you would be, okay, I know these people like Pointer Sisters, and I've got those. I know they like Whitney Houston. I've got those. I would, once you are established and you've got your regulars, I would build an auction, and I don't know how many items you can have in your auction. Just say 50 lots to make it easy.
Okay.
I would have 20 to 30 lots be curated for your regulars.
Okay.
The other 20...
Like half, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other 20, in that instance, would be throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
Mm.
I've never tried Curtis Mayfield before.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to sell or not.
Right.
Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to set up an auction where all 50 items are... I mean, your first few is going to be that way. But after you've been on for a while, you don't want to set up an auction where all 50 are throwing them against the wall and hoping. Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than standing through an auction and selling 2 items. Right. I've done that before. I've been there. It is excruciating.
Sure.
And that's when I'm doing it myself. I can't imagine how you would feel if you're paying somebody to do that.
Right.
That would really be excruciating, because you'd be like, well, what am I doing on this site?
Yeah.
I lost money today.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. There will be days like that. You know, you put up these things, and you put up 6 Beatles albums in there, and it turns out your Beatles people couldn't make it that day for whatever reason.
Yeah, right.
You know, you didn't look at the calendar. I made that mistake the other day. It was the day after the holiday, and it was like, I had a low turnout at my first auction because it was the day after the holiday.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't the best auction I'd ever had. Happens.
Sure.
You get back on the horse, and you don't worry about it. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the only site that I have seen that kind of repeat numbers.
Yeah,
like I said,
that's
33% out of your top 10.
Yeah.
Another thing that you may want to start thinking about, and it's still in beta, it has not rolled out yet, but there are going to be ways that you can set up reward programs for your best customers, where you can give them various perks, whether it's a dollar amount off, whether it's percentage off an order, whether it's a whatever. Different things you can do, different tiers you can set up. I believe that Whatnot, it's going to be more important than ever to have that on there as well, to really, really value those, you know, the repeat customers. Because again, there's no other site that I've seen where it is that contingent upon repeat customers.
And I think it's probably along those high averages for a lot of the volume sellers. You know, our buddy that does the Hot Wheels, I'm sure he's got repeats in 30% or more even. You know, sure.
Yeah. Now his maybe, you know, his top 10 may only be 10% because the sales are higher, but his top 40 buyers might be 50% of his sales or something other like that.
Sure.
Whatever it works out to. But yeah, no, it absolutely, I did want to let you know that, because again, it's a different way of selling. eBay, you do get a few repeat people, and you be nice to them and you talk with them, but it doesn't really have the social interaction that it does over on Whatnot.
Sure.
As far as that goes. And it definitely does help to know your customers when they come in and talk to them. And, hey, how's this going? How's that going? Kids start school yet? That kind of thing. And I don't know if your employee does that sort of thing or not, but I do think that a lot of times people do appreciate that as well. So it might be a different kind of thing
Cool.
than what you're used to.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
hopefully
good.
it helps you a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to talk off air. Do hit the like button if you could, and we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye bye.